Welcome back. We are here for the Between Lilacs in the Dark, episode 3. It's been a little bit, but we kind of recapped offline, and essentially the hunters had investigated during the day phase, went through a
I'm
quick
I'm
dust
really sorry.
phase.
I just heard a very loud crash in my kitchen. I need to investigate.
Okay, well, then we're gonna go ahead and, just faff around a little bit more and pause. Ah, the magic of editing. Yay. Okay, so the hunters had pretty much done some day investigations um, through Little Blackbirds as well as the hedge maze um, into the gazebo, and then now they have gone through dusk and now are getting ready to go into night. So while the day phase is all for the hunters, the night phase belongs to me. So with that, I still want to know what you guys plan on doing. So, from what I remember from last time, Lady Ross-Carter, sorry, was planning on going over to Little Blackbirds and checking out, excuse me, bringing her pet or meeting her pet poet to get some
Yes.
observations going on
Yeah,
Little.
we're gonna snoop around there for a little bit.
Okay. And then Larrabee wanted to go check out Little Blackbirds again and then see about figuring out who was the culprit for setting that weird, yeah, death onto Lord Brookmead, and then Dr. Whitford and Jack were going to go visit Lord Mumford in his home, I believe, and then whomever he was entertaining at the time. So we'll see. We'll see who that is. Yeah. Alrighty. So since Lady Ross-Carter and Larrabee are going to the same place, I imagine that you two would be taking a carriage together. I imagine.
Works for me.
That is, if Larrabee can show up on time.
No, that's only a problem in the morning.
Fair, fair.
Fair. Okay. All right. And then Dr. Whitford and Jack and to Lord Mumford taking a different carriage. Any just to say, just for say before I read off the unseen to start off to kick off the night phase, any preparations that are being made for getting ready to go? Just asking. Nothing? Nobody? Okay. Just making sure. All right. So, the unseen. And remember what you're doing it for. So, the unseen is essentially a look at the seedy underbelly or a slice of life of London, um, far away from the hunter's scenes. And it is your opportunity to give some kind of thematic or sensual details of sorts to tie into whatever the hunters are doing and vice versa. Okay. So, please take advantage of writing down whatever is in there and like trying to fit it into your scenes, and it doesn't have to be your scene matched up with your unseen or your hunter scene. It could be somebody else's and back and forth. Okay, so just remember that. The dinner party. Eric Taylor has a good job as a clerk, and with his wife Abigail they form the very picture of the respectable new Victorian middle class. Behind the lace curtains of their terrace home, they are throwing a small dinner party for equally respectable friends, the Davenports. The tailor's daughter, Maud, plays piano passably in the parlor before dinner is served. So, paint the scene to start us off. As the Taylors and the Davenports enter the dining room, what do we see that shows the Taylors have made their best efforts to impress? And how do we know the Davenports are a rung above them in terms of wealth and prestige? Paint the scenes are for everyone, so everyone can add a detail. How do we know the Davenports are a rung above them in terms of wealth and prestige?
What order would you like us to go in?
Any order.
Okay, I've got one. I'll start here. The Taylors have several lovely vases of fresh cut flowers arrayed for the evening, but when the Davenports arrive, their valet hands off an exquisite bouquet arranged by Mr. Thistle himself.
Spectacular.
I think the Davenports wait to be invited into every single space before they enter into the next one. So they wait to be formally invited before they pass through the threshold, and they wait to be invited to proceed into the dining room, as if they fully know the rules of society, where the Taylors might not be as educated.
I think after the valet, there's a moment of pause, and then they say, "Oh, it's so good to be informal among friends," very clearly like having waited for other servants that are not showing up.
The Taylors have decorated their home with, like very nicely. There's including there is a painting of there's a painting hanging up on the wall, and the painting is of like a formal garden. It's like a, it's a formal garden. It's, got a gazebo and like pretty flowers around, pretty flowers. It's a, it's a nice enough looking landscape. Um, and Mrs. And Mrs. Davenport, you know, Mrs. Davenport like looks at the painting and turns to Mrs. Taylor and says, "Oh, that's a lovely painting. I think I recognize the artist. Um, doesn't he have a doesn't he have a uh, doesn't he have like an open air booth in Cremore Gardens?" Which is, which would indicate this is not expensive art, and she recognizes it as inexpensive art.
Craft art. Oh gosh. Amazing.
Like, like the artist probably painted this in an afternoon and churned out like four or five nearly identical copies.
Oh sure. Absolutely. Yes. The print out copies.
Yeah, I mean,
of the
it was
Victorian
hand
age.
painted. It's hand painted, but
Absolutely. Absolutely. For sure. Yeah. Again, don't be shy about putting your answers so you remember them into the cells of the keeper. Okay. All right. Great. All right. So we're going to go with Jack and Dr. Whitford first. So, Jack, how are you familiar with where Lord Mumford lives?
I mean, I think that it has. I kind of like the. Do we know top of our head whether Mumford is like old money, new money? What's the like? I kind of like the idea that this is that he occupies like a townhouse essentially that is the kind of place that is a like you stay in for a few years as a transition, either because you're like getting wealthier and on the way up,
Mm-hmm.
or because your estate is getting stretched and you're on the way down.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've been to this place a few times to visit different, you know, nobles that are on the way up or on the way down. And this is kind of known to be a
You're
place where
familiar.
you stay for a few years, but it's not a place that you make your permanent residence.
Correct. You're very familiar with this kind of gentleman for sure.
Yeah.
With this kind of peer. Okay. Yeah. So, yeah, you suspect if you don't already know that this is like, yeah, this is Lord Mumford. He's in transition. Slightly on the way down, but he's not seedy.
Sure. Yeah.
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 He doesn't need as much room.
Mm-hmm.
These are his what's the word? His weekday apartments.
Sure. Yeah.
Like not his weekend home, okay? So, yes. So anyway, yeah, you go hit the weekday apartments in this nice townhome place that he has. And yeah, I mean like there's a butler and everything like, that greets you. Whom shall I say is calling, sir?
Uh, Jack and Dr. Elinor Whitford and and I kind of turn to Dr. Whitford and I like hold out a hand, indicating that she should hand me one of her calling cards,
There's a
which,
salver that's
you know,
like whipped out, like, they're like ready
yeah,
for the
exactly.
card.
Snap, and I take it from her and I put it on the card, on the little tray.
Thank you. Wait here. And then the door like immediately closes in your face, you know, blup, 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 and then, uh, door opens up again in a few minutes, and Lord Mumford will see you now. And then you're brought up a flight of stairs to the um, actual first floor. It's a nice home, actually, and it's like, kind of like, neatly arrayed, not full on plush or anything like that. This is a gentleman's quarters, of course, so I mean, like, it's not going to be like fully decorated, but it's comfortable enough. A little bit worn, um, but you're shown into his more study, comfortable, like living apartments kind of thing, and it looks a little bit like the card room of Little Blackbirds, just a little bit smaller because he doesn't need as many tables. And funnily enough, he's got a guest. Oh my. But the guest is facing away from you. Perhaps she is standing and facing the fire, the hearth. Ah, I mean, and he's not wearing like comfortable clothing, all right? He's not in a dressing gown or anything like that. He's actually fully dressed, and he's just like, entertaining at home, basically.
Mhm.
Yes, Jack and Dr. Whitford. Uh, to what do I owe this call?
Mumford, uh, you were there when the unfortunate business at the club happened, and well, I mean, you know what our business is, and uh, it would be very, very helpful to us if you could share anything that you knew. And of course, this is an excuse to sample some of the what you've got, in the cellar as well, because we couldn't come by without that.
So, information as well as to have an excuse to see what kind of stores I have then.
Yeah, always, always. You, however, have me at a disadvantage because you have met my charming dinner companion, but I have not met yours.
You actually have, but you weren't introduced. Lady Sarah, is it all right if I make the introduction? And slowly, the tall woman at the hearth, will turn, and she's wearing, from the back, you can tell she's wearing quite the like simple gown. It's just like, like one color. It doesn't look very like, decorated or anything like that, or embroidered or what have you, and she's very quiet, unassuming. But then as she turns, like you get the impression of like her hair is just done so, and the light just casts itself on her profile. It's just strangely alluring. And it's just, you just get this weird impression of like, this woman is something. Jack, Dr. Whitford, this is Lady Sarah Brookmead. And she just looks at you with sad blue eyes, but doesn't speak.
And I say, absolutely charmed, Lady Brookmead. What is it that brings you into the presence of this withered old reprobate?
She doesn't say anything still, but you see the ghost of a smile playing on
Mhm.
the side of her lips. Dr. Whitford, do you say anything?
No, I think I exchanged like Do we make eye contact
Oh yeah,
connection to
yeah.
knowing?
She's looking at you both. Yeah.
Okay. I just kind of make eye contact and not shrug, but we share a knowing glance about men.
Yes. Like to you, she'll like her smile gets a little bit wider, but like yeah, she just still doesn't say anything. And then like Lord Mumford will like not like kind of nudge you, but he'll like kind of just like kind of oh Jack, you are too familiar. But I'll just blame that on the port that you have not quite had the luxury of having yet. Um, and then he'll kind of go over to a sideboard, and then we'll.
Mumford, we both know that a lady of this quality is only in your presence if let me think. Blackmail, perhaps? You're a relative. You must be related. That's the only reason why I could imagine someone of your comportment being here with Mumford.
Deadpan. Jack, we are guests. Like, not actually admonishing you, but making the formal gesture of admonishing you.
Ah, and that is why I bring the good doctor along to remind me of my manners. And I will, kind of like, like kind of do a little thing where I like tug my shirt and adjust my cravat a little bit and say, "So then, Mumford, to business."
And only when you like kind of like straighten up and get more polite will Lady Brookmead like kind of like smile a little bit wider and at you, Dr. Whitford, and she'll actually make her way to the table and to partake of whatever Lord Mumford is dishing out.
I mean, I had in mind that I would maybe kind of like take Mumford by the elbow and
Hmm.
kind of steer him towards the bar
Hmm.
so that the ladies could, have a little bit of like, so that
Oh,
they
sure,
could greet each other without
sure,
us looming over them.
sure. I mean, you could do that too. But yeah, like that's the setup
Yeah.
for the next part. And I'm just going to get Lady Ross-Carter and Larabee set up before I get into the next unseen. So, Lady Ross-Carter and Larabee, you are in the carriage heading to Little Blackbirds. And yeah, I think as you are going into the carriage, um, and this is just something that you like say like hey little blackbirds are right. I mean like this is not something that you hire or anything like that, like direct or anything.
Was that a question?
Yes,
Sorry.
that is a question.
Yeah, I we just get in and give
Okay.
the destination. Yeah.
Okay. Because the camera sees as you both get in, the camera sees that the uh, brain does not want to work. The coachman that is sitting atop the carriage, we get a little bit of close up as they like start to like take the reins and like start to get ready to you know uh like undo the brake or whatever and then get ready to go. We see like a close up on their ear, and in the ear we start seeing something a little bit alive, like trying to like turn and twist and whirl, like as if it's like a branch that seems to be growing. And they snap the rein, like, and they like, they call out, "Right, Mom," and then snap the reins, and then like, head off to Little Blackbirds. So, I give you a minute or two. Is there anything you two want to say to each other before something happens?
Well, um, I think like from outside of her from out of her poncho, uh, Ms. Larrabee produces a hip flask that we have seen before, and unscrews the top, pours it in, you know pours some into a little 1 ounce tumbler and says, "Well, Lady Ross-Carter, care to join me in a drink?"
She says, "I don't mind if I do." She reaches out and grabs it from you.
Um, you know,
Shall we make a toast? We can't drink without a toast. It's nighttime after all.
absolutely, absolutely, ma'am. What shall we toast to?
How about to death?
Well, we're all going to get there someday. Clink.
Cheers. She knocks one back, hands you back the shot glass. She did not flinch at the whatever that was that you gave her to drink.
Oh, it was bourbon. Not
Yeah.
not the best bourbon you've ever had, but I mean, you're the explorer. You've certainly had worse.
Oh, most definitely. Yeah.
um, Out of character, I know we are in the night phase, but I just glanced that I'm full up on conditions. I was
You
wondering if it
are.
would. Yeah, I wonder if it'd be possible if I would wondering if it'd be possible if we would have time for a quick little vulnerable move here.
Uh, Vice that you're using?
Bourbon.
Oh, okay. I'll allow it. As
So
long
I'll
as
say, per that rule, I take the shot. I'm about to hand back this glass, and I go, "This is quite an interesting souvenir you've got here, Larabee. Where did you get it?" And I hand it back to you.
Yeah. Well, well, she holds up a matching, like, and it's a little silver tumbler. She has another one that matches. They nest in each other, and it does match. It does match the flask, and they are. You wouldn't think that Ms. Larrabee would have. And now that you're looking at it, this thing is clearly silver. And I'm going to say the flask has a monogram that does not match the initials that Rose Larrabee as. And she says, "Oh, this little thing. I purloined this from a wealthy family in Boston that I once was visiting."
Did you toast death to them as well?
I always toast death to them.
Well, I'm glad you shared with me as opposed to the other side.
Well, it's best to be on this side of the grass, if is what some of my friends once said when I was out west.
I know not much of grass, but we are hunting down some odd plant life, are we not?
That, I reckon, is true.
speaking of plant life, the the camera pans onto the whirl of twining branches that are in the carriageman's ear, and they're growing a little bit more, where it looks like they're hooking around the carriageman's ear a little bit more, and he whips the reins a little bit faster, and you start to notice as you're toasting and you're talking that the carriage seems to be going a little bit rougher, and like you start noticing it's like there's no what's the word? There's no God dang it, I can't think of the thing.
Suspension?
Thank you. There's no suspension, so it's getting a bit of a rougher ride. Shadows are growing, and yeah, you're going faster, and it's getting a bit rougher.
Tarnation! I haven't been on a ride like this since I was in a rodeo back in Laredo. I think she'll open the little window in the cabin, and will stick out her hand and call out to the coachman. "Hey there, friend! Why don't you slow down a bit? We don't want to break your horse's leg."
And I think at that point, I think you see the carriageman getting ready to leap off. So night move. And it's basically it's like, you see the carriageman about ready to leap off, and you look like it looks like it's about ready to go into a turn, into like mysterious like alley that you have no idea where it's gonna go. So, night move. What do you think will go wrong if you fail or lose your nerve? Like whatever you guys want to do.
Uh, Larrabee, are you trying? Oh, what are you going to try to do?
Um,
Am I
when I
aware
s-
of this?
so I leaned out the window. You heard Rose say that, um, and so you hear Rose say that, and when she realizes this guy is about to leap off, I think she's going. I think she's going to. I think she's going to pull her gun, point it at him, and says, "You get right back in that seat right now. If we crash, we're all. If you ain't jumping away. If this carriage crashes, We're all going to crash."
I
I th-
think.
oh,
Go ahead.
And I think I will fire. I think I will fire a warning shot. Bang to get his attention.
Mm. I think how it's worse is that, well, I mean,
Oh, and what I think is going to go wrong? I think he's going. I think he's going to totally ignore me, jump off, and we're going to crash it. We're going to crash into the alley.
hmm hmm yeah, that could definitely go wrong. The way it's worse is that, yeah, you, let's see. Wow, there's so many ways this could be worse. Holy crap. Um, Yeah, it leaps off, or like you shoot as he's leaping off, and so it's like you don't know whether it was you or him leaping off that that eventually killed him. Oh, no, I know how it's worse. He falls underneath the horse's hooves, so that's one way it's worse. Trampling him, and yeah, you go careening out of control, and basically you are both wrecked. Um, yeah, you not only crash, but you will be killed because you will, yeah, be the horses will careen out of control and essentially like crash the carriage into like the buildings, that they just kind of careen out of control into. Yep, that's how it's worse, pretty much.
Got it.
Yep.
Well, I mean, this these stakes will affect both of us.
So, I mean,
I'm
I give you opportunity for both of you to do something about it. You know.
Yep.
Yep.
So yeah. So my attempt. So I guess so. My attempt was to. My attempt was to like convince the driver to like grab the reins and bring this carriage to a halt.
I honestly think for Ross Carter, this is happening so quickly, and she is not seeing this. Like
Mhm.
Larrabee's seeing all this,
Right.
so the best I can do is hold on.
Okay. So,
My attempt is to get the driver to like to like you know say whoa to the horses and like bring the carriage to a halt.
okay. I mean, like maybe, like maybe you taking the shot or whatever will bring him back to his senses. I mean that
Yep.
that's
Yeah.
that's a
Again, I'm taking a warning shot, so hopefully that will shock him into it one way or the other. Whether if he's ensorcelled, that would hopefully snap him back to himself. If he's not ensorcelled and he's like doing this for money or whatnot, maybe he's realizing that, oh well, um, if I jumping off a carriage is one thing. Jumping off of a carriage when I've got 3 bullet holes in me is something else entirely.
okay. Alrighty. Well, and I'm assuming you are right-handed, so the nasty gash on your left arm is not going to affect your gun hand.
Excellent.
Okay. So, um,
Okay.
yeah.
So
So,
I am using my gun. I'm
mhm.
using my gun for this, so I would like to take advantage for that, and I think this is probably presence because I'm trying to convince him to do something
um, I'm
or not.
I'm gonna say composure is more fitting just because it's like you're in a pressure situation right now, and the carriage is going is going pretty
Okay.
pretty fast.
Okay.
So
Okay. Yeah, I was going for persuasion, but I will buy that. Okay. Well, I will roll 3 dice. Yeah, I'll just roll 3 dice. My exposure is 0, so let's see what happens. Oh dear. Okay. That is a 7.
okay, I mean, mixed results, still workable.
Roll 2, 3, 4. Roll 2, 3, 4 on 3 dice. So 3 and 4 is a 7.
Well, I think you're shot. I mean, well, tell me, like, since you succeeded, tell me like what your shot does.
So what I think, yeah. So I tell him. So I shout at the court. I order the coachman to bring the carriage to a halt. When it looks like he's about to jump, I fire a warning shot, and that gun is. I mean, that gun is not far from the guy's face. So
Hmm.
he's probably so his his right ear is gonna be ringing. But I think between the threat of violence and just the loud noise, maybe that shakes him back into his senses, and he does comply. But maybe he maybe brings the carriage maybe brings the carriage to a halt um, perhaps too quickly, and something bad happens. Maybe it, like I don't know, like the carriage tips over or something like that.
Yeah, I think I think that's fair. Because basically, I think what happens with your gunshot is that it looks like he was about ready to leap off, and your gunshot went so close to his ear that it was literally like shaving off part of that branch clutch that was like like starting to form around his ear. Although you didn't realize it because it was like kind of dark, but it kind of snapped him out of it a little bit, and he was like grasping the reins to try and like try to take control when he regained part of his senses. But again, it upset the carriage so much that like it's still kind of like off kilter. So you're essentially like falling over to the side. Um, so you're going to be yeah. Um, Not an injury per se, but I mean, like at the very least, shaken. Um, because yeah, I think you probably would have like warned Lady Ross-Carter. It's like you're gonna go over,
Got
you
it.
know. So
I'll take the condition shaken up, and I'm really glad I had that vulnerable move, because I was at 3 conditions, cleared it, and now I'm at 3 conditions again.
right, and then Lady Ross-Carter. It's like you were warned hurriedly from Wild Rose that this was going to happen. But I mean, like how are you feeling? Being like sideways in the garage.
Uh, my hair is now a mess, and I am quite upset by it.
Hmm.
I
Hope.
mean, she's not gonna like play up that she might be physically hurt right now. That's beneath her, but she's
Right.
manifesting that anger about her hair.
Oh dear. Okay. Let's
And
see.
she like gets out of she's able to kind of crawl out of this cab and brushes herself off and fixes her hair.
Hmm. Yeah.
She's like she goes over to the driver and she starts berating him. She says, "What would you make you do such a thing?"
Basic your condition is temper on end. Mm.
Okay.
Yeah. And then as you're berating him, it's like he looks like he's waking out of some sort of weird
Are you drunk, sir? Have you been drinking?
no. Uh, what?
It's your responsibility to keep us safe.
No. What?
What is your name?
Ah, Templeton. Templeton, ma'am.
Dimpleton? I will make sure your supervisor hears of this
He's
on the
clutching at
morrow.
his ear, and like when he brings his hand away, you can see it's all bloody.
I kind of look down at it. I'm like, well, I'm sorry to see that you're bleeding, but I can't say that you may not deserve it.
Yeah, what made you think? What made you like? What made you deliberately try to crash a carriage? generally, like that generally a crash in a carriage generally is bad for a cab driver.
And like the and he kind of like gets up, like very um, staggers. He staggers upward, and like he checks the carriage, and like obviously it's like messed up, splintered on one side, and the axle's broken um, for the connector. One of the horses is like obviously torn away from it because the reins are broken and all this kind of stuff. And when you look at him, the ear that got shot away at, it looks like there's a hole in his ear. And Rose, you can't tell whether because of the darkness. You can't tell whether that's because you shot at him or if there was something else that was there that's no longer there.
Got it. Well, I mean, if I actually shot him in the ear, there'd be a matching hole on the other side of his head.
Well, right.
So.
Right. But I mean, yeah, I mean, it's dark, so but you can just tell, I mean, like, it's bloody and everything like that, because
Got it.
like part of the blood is splattered on his face.
Got it. And
yeah.
it doesn't look like that's because he like hit his ear when he fell down, or can I not really tell?
You can't really tell.
Looks
like I said,
puncture. Looks like a puncture.
Like it's like this, like as if like the shot went like past his ear, but I mean like it looks like there's a hole by his ear, So if the good doctor was there, she might be curious enough to check, but she's not. So there you go. So
I think Rose will say, "Sir, you are bleeding. You might want to have that looked at."
Yes. And like he looks like he's in some considerable pain, and he puts his hand back on his ear.
How far away do you suppose we are, sir? From I forgot the name of the place. Sorry.
Little Blackbirds.
Little Blackbirds.
Little Blackbirds.
I was about to say Blackberry.
And all he does is like he keeps his one hand on his ear and then points, and you see up Primrose Hill.
I look at Larabee and I say, well, since you shot him, you should probably hang out and wait for him to see his way home. I'm going to proceed over to Blackberries.
Blackbirds.
Blackbirds. I'm going to proceed over to Blackbirds.
Well, I haven't used a Blackberry in a long time, but that's another story.
Oh, yes. I forgot about that. Thank you for the reminder, Jack. Yes, because you guys got a clue you did the vulnerable move, you have to figure out a clue for the vulnerable move, either found on site or something that you see, something. Yeah. Yeah, you make that up yourselves.
Okay, I'm going to noodle on that a bit.
Yeah. Okay, next unseen. All right. Jim. Mrs. Taylor and Mrs. Davenport hate one another. How do they subtly lash out over the course of dinner without drawing attention or causing a scene?
Well, as it happens, the ladies take turns enthusing about their upcoming social calendars, each explicitly mentioning their eagerness to attend those events that their respective husbands are utterly unaware that the other has explicitly not been invited to.
Oopsie. Oh my God. This is terrible. As we go over to Lord Mumford's again, and we go and see how the ladies there, Dr. Whitford and Lady Brookmead, are doing. How are they doing, by the way?
I believe I will join her at Lady Sarah at the hearth and say, if it is a loss, I am so sorry for your loss.
And she just looks at you. I mean, she's kind of wrapped in this very elegant shawl. It is the one thing that is actually decorated as opposed to any of her actual dress. Her colors are like ivory and cream, but the shawl itself is ivory, cream, and then has like a kind of like an overlay of different colors and such. But she looks at you with a kind of a commiserating smile and just says, It is very neutral of you to say that to me, that you do not automatically assume that I would be in mourning. I thank you.
I think I just nod at that. Changes in circumstance are not always bad, no matter how they occur.
You do understand so much, and yet you do not know me. How is that?
Long pause. I know of situations you might be in. No, let's see. That's not what I wanted to say. Women are put in many situations that they might not want to be in, and I wish to assume nothing.
It is refreshing to not be assumed and to be seen.
What brings you to this fine establishment?
Lord Mumford and I are old friends.
It is good to have friends.
It is.
Does she put any particular emphasis on friends?
No.
Either, okay.
Yeah, not in that way.
Oh no, she could also put like, we're not really friends, like not just we're not intimate, but we're also not friendly is not how you would describe our connection.
I mean, like, she just seems like, yeah, like friends as in we know each other and like a old, like, long acquaintance kind of thing. And maybe she even puts it just that way. So we know each other from long acquaintance.
I am unfamiliar with Lord Mumford. What sort of man is he?
Hmm. Hmm. An observing man. A man who likes to be behind the scenes. A mentor. A mentor to my late husband. He knows much. You just have to ask him.
May I ask a mentor in what?
Travel, knowledge in certain areas. I didn't share my husband's interests, if that was something that you were questioning.
I have no particular bent to my questions, lady.
Pray, ask of me whatever you wish, but I will not speak to what I cannot answer.
What do you think I should ask you?
Clever.
I do try.
I find it interesting that you want to talk to me when I could just as easily not tell you anything whatsoever about my husband or myself. I could just be just as unassuming as the wall.
Not lasciviously, just like forthright. I sort of look at her. If that is what you think of yourself, then of course. I suspect you are a keen observer, and I suspect you are not much listened to.
You would be correct. And sometimes, unfortunately, I'm not here to be listened to. Sometimes I'm to be looked at or fought over.
Has there been fighting of late?
I would not like to admit so. And information move.
Okay.
You'd like to get more information. With, yeah, reason.
I feel like this did me pretty dirty last time.
I'm okay if you use physical dice. You don't have to use witch dice.
And you can use personal quarter items if you want to give yourself
for
a advantage.
Exactly. And remember, personal quarters items you don't necessarily have to have in hand. You just have to kind of like work it into remembering it, you like kind of like relating it somehow to how you're using it. Or if if you don't like the stat I called, then like parlay it somehow to
No,
use,
I am sorry. I'm not. I feel like I want something for my personal quarters. I can't bring it in though, so I shall roll flat. That is reason is 9.
Okay. All right, with a 9. So what's your specific question to her?
She is alluding to conflict over her, and so I am attempting to figure out if there was someone who would murder her husband because of her. So
Right.
I think I asked, has there been fighting lately?
Right. Okay, great. Lady Brookmead considers your question either how much to say or how much to admit. And she looks at you after some thought and looks a little sad and says, "We had some house guests at one point recently, and there was an argument, and the next morning the servants had found crystal shards thrown under the bed. There were some injuries. It seems there might have been a vase broken. Not sure, but they said the argument was about me. And she sighs as if this is not a new thing, unfortunately, for her. That is your clue. As soon as I can frickin' copy it and paste it into the thing. Wait a sec. Quartz crystal shards thrown under a bed. That is your clue. What do you think about that? And if you need time to think about it, it's like I will go over to Jack. Yeah.
Let's go to Jack for a bit.
Yeah. Jack, you've brought Lord Mumford over to sample some sniffers. So what he's
Like I kind of take a desultory, kind of like a little, just like a little. Come on, Mumford. This is what you give the guests. And I kind of like do a little head fake, kind of indicating, you know, he should take me to where the good stuff is. Kind of, towards
You,
the basement.
you are just so too familiar, Jack. Ugh. Fine. And then like he'll kind of grumpily fish some keys out of his pocket, and then we'll kind of indicate to head down to the past the first floor, down to the ground floor, down to the cellar, da da da. Is this just to allow you to have Dr. Whitford talk to Lady Brookmead in peace?
And I kind of hold my hands up and I say, actually, this was to allow me to talk to you in peace. And I walk up to him and I like grab him by the jacket and jack him up against the wall.
What?
And
What
I
is
say,
the meaning of this?
what is the meaning of this? What is the meaning of you are entertaining the widow Brookmead? The man hasn't even been embalmed yet. I didn't notice a chaperone. Is there a chaperone around here I don't see, Mumford?
Hands off! And then he
Yes,
furiously
sure.
whips your hands off of him.
What are you doing? This looks bad, Mumford. You know that this looks bad. I'm an agent of Hargrave House. You know that. He was killed in some what am I supposed to think of all of this, Mumford?
You can think whatever you like. We are merely friends.
See,
Too old for any kind of rumor mongering.
oh, yes, yes. The fact that you've known each other for many, many years, that's the sort of thing that would make one much less suspicious that you had anything to do with the bizarre death of her husband, the bizarre recent death of her husband, which I can't help but notice you have not mentioned at all.
What would you like to know? That my protege had died of a strange desiccation that that I don't even understand how it could have even happened under everyone's nose. What do you want from me? What exactly do you want me to say?
And I kind of like sigh. Mumford, you know the business of Hargrave House. You know that it is our job, that Vicky herself has tasked us with getting to the bottom of this sort of strangeness. Now, when she asks us how we have been spending our time and to offer her a report on what has happened here and why one of her subjects died with trees growing out of his face, I need to assure her of two things. One is that you were not in any way responsible for it. And the other, Mumford, and this is important, and I need you to listen to me, is that you are not next in line to have it happen to him. And I'm going to kind of let that sink in. And that's my in for the information move.
Okay.
Is to kind of, that sudden switch gears and like, it might be you next if you're not responsible for it.
Right. Sure. Okay. So information move and force of presence. I mean that works if you want. I mean, or whatever you want to really parlay to use as a stat.
I mean, I think I like my inclination is to use composure. That I'm, he's like my goal is to upset him but remain unperturbed myself. I'm like but if you think presence, I'm
you've been doing a really great job at intimidation, right? Right now. So
my presence is my presence is -1. But this is not how he's used to being talked to, and I like whatever. I don't particularly care what people think of me when I do this kind of thing, so I'm totally fine with rolling on that. I think, and so let me see. Let me see if there's a thing where I can um uh
Because I
I'm
always think
gonna
of composure as being more of like what you do in a high
Sure,
pressure
sure. Yes,
situation.
exactly. Yes, yeah, totally fine. I'll do preference for this. I'm gonna use my tattoo on neck from a distant land
Mm,
as, because we've kind of been roughing each other up, and maybe
sure.
my shirt comes a little undone, and it reminds him that like I am not a noble.
Right.
I have this particular job and all that kind of stuff, and maybe it's gonna make him be terrified and clam up, or maybe it's gonna make him uh, you know, talk. So let's see. Um, Let me see what I got here. Oh, and you know what I figured out that's cool about witch dice is that if you have advantage, you can tell it to roll 3 dice
And then tell it
and then
the
say,
total
take
highest.
the 2 highest,
Yeah. Or the
and
two
it will
lowest,
do
whichever.
that. Yeah, it will do that automatically, which is kind of cool. So, all right. So I've got advantage with -1. So let me roll that and see what we got. I got a 10. I got a 6 and a 5, -1.
Amazing. Great. Okay. Okay. So hold on. Advantage -1. 10 for info move. Okay. Great.
And I'm like, uh, I don't want to haul you into the dock, and I don't want to be, I don't want yours to be the next body I'm asked to inspect. So come clean.
And he sighs.
And if you have a clue handy, cool. If not, if you want to cut away and come back to it, that's fine too.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to cut away for
Sure.
half a mo. Um, there is several clues I could give you for this, but you know, just gonna wait it out for half a second. So let me go back to Lady Ross-Carter. You're hoofing it to um, Little Blackbirds.
Yes, I've told Miriam I would meet her there, and I take my appointments very seriously.
Mm-hmm. I think though, because you're hoofing it a little bit, and you weren't expecting to be late or to be delayed this way, maybe you're a little bit ruffled,
Sure.
you know, and a little bit late. But Miriam's there. And she's just kind of like looking around and, you know, oh, ah,
I say, Miriam, I'm over here. I'm sorry I am so late. You will
oh,
not believe what I've been
oh,
through this evening. Don't
I'm
even get me started.
so sorry. Did you need me to get you a drink? They
That
seem to be
would
very
be excellent. Please make
accommodating.
it a double.
Absolutely. Ah, absolutely. Come,
It's
come, come, come. Let's. Would you like to go to one of their entertainment rooms? I hear they're quite pleasing.
I am quite curious what entertainment goes on at a place like this that a woman of my age would be interested in.
Mm. Would you mind if I surprised you?
Well, I normally don't like surprises, but Miriam, I will trust you this one time if the drink is stiff enough.
I will provide you with a quite stiff drink and possibly an even stiffer entertainment,
Hmm.
if that's quite all right.
Carry on.
All right. And, she claps and, they have the regular servants and of course, like, she whispers to, Mother Mallory and kind of like, makes an arrangement and such. And you are shown into one of the entertainment rooms.
I think I'm quite nice to all the guests and the servants and people ushering us around, and I thank you very much. And I introduced myself to a few people
Oh,
as we
absolutely.
move around, just trying
Sure.
to make sure that everyone knows who I am.
Oh, yes, 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 yes. you're given proper deference, especially for being up here.
Yes.
And as you're being shown around, I mean, like, Miriam is also being, like, very obsequious and such. And then, like, she's making sure that you're getting quite comfortable. Maybe she's, like, kind of, like, hanging back and surreptitiously dusting you off, and then just kind of making sure that it, like, like you're looking put together without making it looking like she's helping you. And also she's making sure that you have that drink in hand. It's quite...
What do you call this? Is there pineapple in here? What is this? Macadamia nuts?
Is this pleasing to you?
It's delicious.
They
I was
call it
expecting a bourbon or something stiffer, but this is quite nice.
No. They call it the stiff upper lip.
Where do you think it got that name from?
I'm not sure, but whatever it is, it seems to be like quite the trend, at least for now. I hear they change things every week.
I leaned in when you say that, and I'm like, who is in charge of these changes every week?
I think the escorts. The escorts just seem to be in charge of the entertaining, and they seem to be collaborating on making sure that the guests are entertained.
But who oversees the day-to-day operation? It clearly cannot be the run-of-the-mill girls here.
No, well, I mean, Mother Mallory, of course, is the proprietor, but no, I think...
Who's above her?
No, there's no one above her, but I think someone like overseeing the escorts are quite efficient. That one. And she points out a tall, dark beauty. I believe her name is Lucy. She's quite sonorous. I've heard her speak, and she's commanding and authoritative and efficient.
I stand up really quick, and I like snap my fingers, and I say, "Excuse me, Miss Lucy, is that your name?
And
may we have a word?"
Lucy turns, and she snaps to. She's like tan skin and like dark hair, and she just like kind of gives you this look of like someone who is in charge and confident enough to know everything. And she just kind of like, when you snap, she's like not coming forth right away. She's not that obsequious.
I snap again.
And she'll stride to us. Yes, I am Miss Lucy.
I introduce myself. I say, my name is Lady Ross-Carter, and I really appreciate you inviting me out tonight.
And then she will do that little dip curtsy, like not a full-on curtsy, but a little dip curtsy that people will do. And it's like, you are very, very welcome here.
It's a very nice place you have here. I'm sorry to hear you've been having trouble. And I kind of whisper as I start to mention the grievous acts.
Yes. It is quite the difficulty and unexpected, but we make do as best as we can.
Well,
things must go on.
Yes, they must. You are very right. How can we help?
I believe Mother Mallory has told us you are of the group that is trying to help us.
Oh, there's no trying. We are helping. But we need to know how we can help. I don't want to assume that I know everything that's going on here. You seem like someone that could help shed some light.
Find out who among the patrons had done this.
Yes.
That's
so who do you suspect? What have you seen that is out of the norm?
I shouldn't like to say. It is only my guess, after all.
Every little piece of information is worthwhile. Hypothesis is the first step of the scientific method. We must start from a place, and a guess is as good of a place to start from.
As long as it's understood, that is only a guess on my part.
I mean, we're all just guessing. We're not a court of law here. We are merely trying to answer questions.
I believe Mr. Casing could be a suspect.
Mr. Casing, you say?
Yes.
No, this is Clint asking. Have we met him before?
No.
I'm looking. Okay.
Well, Jack has.
Jack. Okay.
Jack has met Mr. Casing as the young fellow who was with Lord Mumford at the card table.
Correct. Copy. Thank you.
Morton Casing.
Excellent. So yeah, I think she just wants to continue this conversation to just kind of round up any information that she could possibly. And this was, remind me of this lady, Lucy.
Lucy Emmett is her full name, and then
Thank you.
like Miriam will whisper to you, it's like, "Are you still interested in going to the entertainment room, ma'am?"
I look at Lucy and I say, "Do you recommend the entertainment?"
Only if you are interested in being entertained, ma'am.
Then lead the way.
And she will say, normally the entertainment room is considered one-on-one. Would you prefer
Oh, say it. Don't be coy.
It is my desire to earn as much coin as I possibly can, and as fast as I can. I would wish only to make sure that I am fair also to my fellows. If it is the two of you that wish to be entertained by me alone, it is one thing, but again, I would like to be fair to one of my fellows. So if you would like to have two of us, then of course, if you are willing and you have the coin, then we can provide.
Yeah, I think she's gonna follow y'all back.
Right. And so basically it's like, if you are willing, then she will she will gesture to one of her compatriots, and she will gesture to a very strong, tall, handsome-looking fellow. I think he was mentioned before, and you might have seen him in passing. He's the tall, the tall, handsome one with the storm blue eyes, Cobb, and she'll have him accompany her and accompany you two into one of the entertainment rooms.
We can just veil that for all involved.
Totally veil that. And Miriam is just completely like chuckling and smirking along the way. Oh, this is going to be quite the entertainment. Thank you very much for this very observing evening, ma'am. So, bail on that. And let's see. Let me go back to Jack just to give the clue before I go into the next unseen. So Jack, because of your 10, you're going to get you're going to get a clue, and you're going to get a detail. So he's going to rub his face. Look, I knew Lord Brookmead. I knew him. I knew Philip when he was just starting out. And this is a tragedy, to be sure, but not unexpected. This may be tied to an expedition he took to a haunted forest, purportedly years ago. And he came back, but not the same. I mean, he looked the same. It was fine, but something was off. And I don't know. Maybe I'm imagining things, but there had always been rumors. Rumors of some kind of monetary implications with their marriage. And it wasn't something that I had anything to do with. Again, this was well known in our circles. This was a marriage of convenience for them. And that is your capital C clue. Rumors of a troubled marriage of convenience with monetary implications. And the detail is the fact that that Lord Brookmead was on that expedition years ago to that purported haunted forest. So, whether or not there was something just from the very beginning having to do with their marriage of convenience, or because of him coming back changed in some way from the expedition, I don't know. But it should be enough for you to know that I had nothing to do with it.
So I sigh and I kind of, pat him on the shoulder and say, that wasn't so hard, was it? But I will say, if when you are shaving, you feel twigs or something like that, you'll let me know right away, yes? Oh, Mumford, the look on your face. Pat him on the cheek a couple of times, grab a bottle, turn, and head back up the stairs.
And the camera sees Lord Mumford just kind of run his fingers through his sparse hair and just kind of roll his eyes, and it's like, ugh, Jack, and then sigh. Larabee, you're with the carriage driver, and I see that you had put in a clue. Is that the clue that after the hansom crash, you see the cabbie seems to be waking from a dream?
Yes, that was and there was a puncture in his ear that just seemed. Yeah, that was color. That was information that you added. But I think that seems pretty clue-like. So I'm going to put that in. I'm going to add that as a clue.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine to put in from the vulnerable move. Sure.
Um, so I'm standing here with the cabbie. I'm guessing he's under a certain amount of no, I imagine he might actually be in shock.
Yeah. I mean, he's bleeding, from either the grazing of the shot that you took, plus also to probably from the stuff, the branch stuff that was coming out of his ear that kind of got shot out
Right.
a bit. So yeah, I mean,
So I'm going to I think I'm going to change tracks here and say, okay, I'm not a doctor, but I've done some field dressings. I've done some field dressings after I've seen people gotten shot. Come here. And so she kind of has him sit down on part of the overturned carriage, and is going to she's going to pull out a handkerchief and whatnot, and she's going to try to do a certain amount. I mean, she's not a doctor, but she knows how to bandage a wound. Um, and she's also, and so while she's trying to clean up this guy and make sure he's not going to make sure, the other thing she wants to make sure is make sure that she didn't actually shoot him. And that there isn't a bullet lodged in his head, and he's going to bleed out in the next couple of minutes. But
you
assuming he's
didn't.
also in shock. Yeah, I didn't think so. I think a quick, I think a very quick, I think a quick examination eases her mind in that regard.
Mhm.
Um, Basically, I want to try to get some information out of him by
Sure.
asking, basically asking him like what was the last thing he remembered? Did like asking, do you remember? You know, you know, it seemed like you were, sir. It's before this unfortunate incident. It seemed like you had coaxed your horses into a full gallop down these cobblestone city streets, and it looked like you were about to jump off the cab.
And he just
I'm guessing you don't remember that.
and he just looks at you like with the
But
eyes of somebody confused and horrified.
what was the last thing you do remember before? Well, before she gestures at the overturned cab and the. Oh, and the other thing is, if there was still if the other horse hadn't broken away, the other one you said one horse had broken free and run away.
Yeah.
I think before she even attended to the cabbie, she would have like unhitched the other horse, helped
Yeah.
it up, and made sure this other horse was okay. Um, produced a sugar cube out of her pocket and like let the horse have that. But
I think
but she
the other
wants.
horse, that horse is like probably looks a little fine, maybe like slightly bruised, but then
Okay.
now is nudging you for more sugar.
Well, if I have another sugar cube, I'll give that to him too. But yeah, I know from horses, so I want to make sure that it doesn't have any, it didn't break a leg.
Seems
And
fine.
I think it's going to be fine. So she then turns her attention to the cabbie, and she asks him what was the last thing that he remembered before he started, like what was the last thing he remembered before the carriage, before the crash.
And he thinks about it, and you can do a
And yeah, I was basically, yeah, and yes, I'm fishing for I was indeed fishing for an information move here.
yeah. Go ahead.
I think probably with presence because I'm trying to be assuring, trying to use. So let me see. Do I want to use the staff?
Actually, yeah. In this case, I want you to use sensitivity.
Sensitivity. Okay, I will use sensitivity then.
Oh wait, hold on. Let me look at your conditions. Unless you plan on using a personal quarters item.
That's going to be a disadvantage.
Yupper.
Makes sense. I am suspecting there was something supernatural going on here.
Mhm.
Also out of my satchel, I'm going to pull out that jar of ectoplasm, figuring that that's going to, perhaps, you know, I think that's just going to possibly react in a way if there was, in the presence of supernatural stuff.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Sounds good. I like that.
So
I like that a lot.
yeah, so I'm just gonna go. I'm gonna roll 2d6, and my sensitivity is 1. So let's see what we get. That is a 7
All right.
total.
So,
I am indeed and I am maxed out on conditions.
yeah. So with that, you're gonna get. Let's see. I think when you pull out the jar of ectoplasm, because you suspect something weird's going on as you ask, like, what do you remember? Um, you ask, he says, it was the weirdest thing. He was like, I've seen my horse's heads, and I was ready to snap the reins and say, we're going. And it was like, instead of seeing the street, I was seeing a forest in front of the horse's heads. And as he says this, you see in the jar of ectoplasm, you see like the jar of ectoplasm is forming into this vision. The jar of ectoplasm, or the ectoplasm in the jar, sorry, forms into the vision of worn dancing shoes encrusted with mud. That is your clue. Like, literally, as he's talking and telling you about this vision he sees, then the ectoplasm forms into that vision really quick in front of your eyes and then dissipates as he drifts off from telling you about what he saw.
Thank you for sharing that information with me.
And then, like, you know, you've by then you've like kind of like, you know, you had finished bandaging up his ear, and you saw that you didn't shoot into his head or anything like that, but you do see the graze mark from your bullet.
Got it. I did graze him, but I didn't actually shoot him. Okay.
Exactly,
Good.
exactly. But it looks like as you grazed him, it looks like something else was torn off. Like, you know, not his ear. Something else was torn off
Got it.
from his
Okay.
ear as you grazed him with your bullet.
Well, we know we've seen dead bodies with like vines and stuff growing out of them, so I'm wondering if I'm guessing this is all connected.
Yeah. So, yeah. How do you feel seeing like all this weird shit?
Well, this is weird. I mean, I've seen plenty of weird stuff, but I've not seen like jar of ectoplasm form into a. I wasn't expecting this story to be channeled into this jar of supernatural stuff and give me a vision. So I am probably feeling a bit uneasy about this.
Yeah. So, I mean, no, I don't normally ask this, but I will give you the choice. You can either, because you already are, like, you know, full up on conditions, and you cannot take another one, you'll have to take a mask, or use a mask, or I can have somebody take a visit to you. Like, you know, I can have somebody come into the scene right now, and it is
and complicate matters.
Yep.
I'm gonna take the complication because I was figuring there was a carriage crash. There's got to be like a bunch of bystanders that are coming over to like see what's going on.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, maybe a couple of maybe maybe a couple of bobbies.
Yes.
Or someone coming to see if their spell worked right.
True. Oh, could it be one of the bobbies that I encountered the other day because we're in the right district?
I don't know. I mean, you know, one of the like, you know, maybe there's a Bobby or two that, like, you know, kind of comes over and then just like, you know, what's going on here or whatever. And then, like, you know, there's an individual that comes up and is carrying a, like, the camera kind of, like, you know, sees a step of like some decent boots and, like, you know, three-piece suit and such, carrying a doctor's bag, and then kind of pans up to their face, and it is an uncommonly beautiful face, wearing glasses, and he comes up to you, Rose, or excuse me, Larabee, and says,
Rose is her name. It's Miss it would be Miss Larabee, but
yeah, and basically says, I see that there has been injuries. I am a doctor. I am Dr. Holzer. Do you need any help?
well, Doc, I'm fine, but my friend here, my my well, this gentleman here could perhaps use some assistance. I patched him up best I could, but I ain't no doctor.
No, you are not. But you did the best you could under the circumstances. I thank you, and you, sir. I think I can at least help a little bit more. And yeah, Dr. Holzer will keep his eyes on you as he helps out Templeton, the cab driver. Um, are you sure you are not hurt?
Um, I've been in worse crashes than this.
And then his eyes fall to your arm. What about that? Would you need some help making sure that that does not go septic?
That's fine.
I
I know,
insist.
I know another I know another doctor who, well, she didn't actually help me with this, but
I insist. And, after he takes care of, Templeton, which he doesn't really have to do because you did such a great job in bandaging, he will come over to you and lay his slender, gentle hands on your arm and will bandage and take care of it, clean it out as best as he can, and, you know, watch you and bandage it up real nice.
well, thank you, doctor. Thanks, doc. That feels quite a lot better. Um, what do I owe you for your services?
Nothing. Just make sure to keep that clean, and I will give you some bandages to refresh that for at least another day or so.
Well, thank you kindly, sir.
You're very welcome. You are.
She says, "Oh, I'm Larabee's my name, Rose Larabee. Um, came into town as part of a Wild West show. The show's kind of didn't do so well, so I've kind of gone freelance, shall we say.
Oh, see, you
I'm
do
from
not.
no, I'm from Laredo, Texas." She lies.
See, you do not have any more shows that cause injury like this. Could be
Oh no,
difficult.
this is a bit of a mishap.
I hope
I
you
This is a bit of a mishap. I used a ladder that wasn't as sturdy as I thought it was.
take care not to have too many more of these injuries, unless I am nearby to help.
Oh, it was a pleasure meeting your acquaintance, Doctor.
Pleasure, Fraulein. And Dr. Holzer will pack up his bag, leave you with some bandages, and give you a kind of like a little tug at his forelock, and leave you to it with a little bit longer of a glance than most people would, but yeah,
Got
take
it.
his leave of you.
And you know, she knows it's not actually proper for ladies to do that, but she'll like tip her own hat at him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's gonna be some complications later, but anyway.
Of course there are.
Of course there are, for sure. Anyway, Clint. Maud and the Davenport's son Alexander both chafe under the expectations of their parents. As the meal draws to a close, how do we see this expressed in their conversation or petty acts of rebellion?
Yes. So we see young Maud. She is back at the piano from earlier, and she's slowly dragging out a piece of music in terms of tempo. She's even hitting a wrong note to spite her parents. Right when she gets ready to hit the night one, it goes a little sour. And she replies to praise with a tight smile and eye rolls. Alexander, he interrupts conversation constantly with off topic remarks such as cricket scores and new music. He drops his napkin deliberately and letting other people bend over to pick it up for him. We see Alexander kind of sauntering over to the piano where Maud is there, and he mutters over to her, "Another thrilling evening of pudding and propriety, I see. And she sighs and says, "Oh, I'd rather be at the booksellers this evening."
And Dr. Whitford, what else do you say or do with Lady Sarah as you are waiting for Jack to return from? I think maybe you even hear a little bit of their argument from downstairs, even like two floors down. Um, and she kind of just like
Ladies, okay.
looks at you. She kind of like just looks at you when you two hear that, and it's like, men.
Lady Sarah, are you familiar with the particulars of your late husband's death?
Yes.
Do you have any concerns that you might be at risk?
Is it unseemly to say no? I feel
It is not unseemly to say no to me.
I feel that this was, and this is only my opinion, but I feel this is, or was, specific to him.
Excellent. I think as we hear Jack at all approaching, I appreciate your forthrightness. I am certain that you are perfectly capable of taking care of yourself, but should you need the kind of assistance I or my acquaintances can provide, I'll give you a card. Send word to Hargrave House and mention change of circumstance, and I shall know it is you.
And she will take your card and smile at you. But then, when you take your leave, she will say, and this is away from earshot of Jack and Lord Mumford, she'll say to you, "You do realize that I could just as easily have lied."
And you may have. I would not presume to say that I know if you are lying or not. I hope you are not, but I respect you may need to protect yourself.
And she will give you a genuine smile and say, "It is so nice to have an understanding."
Thank you.
Thank you. And she will actually take your hand and give it not a handshake, you know, like how you clasp somebody's hand and kind of like just give it a squeeze. It's like kind of like like I get you, or like you get me kind of squeeze. You know, it's that kind of clasp that she gives you. Lady Ross-Carter, what kind of good time did you guys come out of from the entertainment rooms?
I think we see Lady Ross-Carter walking out with kind of a slight grin on her face. Uh, and perhaps we kind of see in the background that the other people are the ones putting their clothes back on. Maybe she was but watching. Uh, so yeah, she hasn't changed anything. And she's walking back towards the main area
Okay.
where she entered. And she's still she's had some good conversation. She's had a good time. Now she wants to get back to work and see if she can discover anything new.
Okay. I mean, any place particular that you want to go?
She's heard talk of this outside garden area.
Yes.
She hasn't really found too much inside, so she's thinking maybe I'll go see what goes on outside.
Yeah.
Perhaps lurk around the perimeter of this hedge maze area.
Do you go into the hedge maze, or do you just kind of like go around the hedge maze? What do you think?
I start off just to see if I hear anything. If it seems quiet, I will push forward.
Okay. It
So
seems quiet.
then I'm gonna keep, I'm gonna test this maze out. Walk around through it a little bit.
But I'm going to say that, like, once you step into the maze,
Mm-hmm.
I think you start to hear. Lady Ross-Carter.
She slows down only for a moment, just to make sure she heard what she thought she heard. She proceeds forth.
Don't know. I mean, you're just getting deeper into the maze,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
hedge maze, and you just kind of go through and see what you're gonna see. But it's dark here. It's nighttime. There's no real lamps lit, even though you'd expect there to be. And
Yeah.
and I think if you do turn around, you notice that the lamps that were lit start to wink out behind you.
Excellent.
Night move, please.
Excellent. So I am going to turn around and slowly and methodically retrace the steps I made and get out of this maze.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my intent.
What do you think will happen if you fail or lose your nerve?
I'm afraid that this maze will have changed itself since I entered.
Yeah. That could be what happens if things go wrong. And what could be worse is that not only would things have shifted reality and changed the directions of the maze, but I think you're going to meet someone that is under the control of the bad, malicious influence here. And that person may have something growing out of their ear, too.
Yeah.
And in which case they have bad intent towards Lady Ross-Carter. So, yep.
I pull out my comically large ornate dagger.
Cool.
And as I'm walking, I kind of poke at the bushes, at the hedges. Just
Cool.
Get out there, kid.
So, what do you think? Like vitality? I would say vitality.
I was figuring it was going to be composure.
Okay, cool. I take that.
I'm slowly moving. I'm trying to
Cool.
trying to stay
Yep.
cool.
Yep. I'll take it.
Yeah.
All right.
So that
Oh, wait.
okay.
You have anything? You don't have anything, right?
I have temper on end.
Ooh. I think you're still affected by that. I mean, like, well, hold on. Let me think.
So I got that from being mad that I got
Yeah.
tossed around in this carriage.
Well, I mean, like, I'm not saying that it's completely gone, but
Sure.
do you feel yourself, like, like mellowed out a little bit from watching some fun?
Oh yeah, yeah.
I won't.
I mean, I would say maybe an altering of this condition, maybe not a removal.
Okay. Okay.
Now I want to know.
Oh God! Oh God! How do I mellow this out? Ooh. Mellowed temper. Yeah, just put mellowed temper.
All right.
I'll take that, and then like I won't have you affected necessarily
All right.
by this weirdness.
So so I do not have
You don't have
disadvantage for that. So
no,
so I
no.
have
There's
advantage with
just
using my knife. Okay.
yes, yes. I'll say that.
Okay.
You had a good time. Thank goodness. Otherwise, you would have been at disadvantage.
All right. Oh, I didn't do 3 dice, so here's my 3rd die. Oh, it was a 1. Um. Okay, so I rolled a 6.
Oh, my god. Oh boy. Okay, so
Did we talk about what we were worried would happen and how it might be worse?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So basically, yeah, it's what you said would happen, which was okay. So you're going through, and it's not as you thought it was. I mean, you're an explorer, so
Yes.
you'd think you'd know. You'd go back the way you came, and it didn't look like the way you came. In fact, it's a little bit more twisty. It's darker. It's more shadowed, and maybe now you're getting a little bit more frustrated, even with using your knife.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I think you turn and you turn and you turn, and you're not getting out. And I think at another turn, I think, oh boy, how do I make this? Okay, I know how to make this worse. I think you see at the end of one of the innumerable turns that you make, you see what looks like Miriam. And she's got,
Miriam.
hello.
I seem to have gotten lost in this hedge maze. I'm so glad to see you.
You did get lost.
I hope
And
you're not
like
lost too.
Miriam seems to be like, still askew. Like, even though you saw them like put their clothes back on and like, look like, relatively put together, but
Mhm.
now their clothes seem to be more askew again. And like there seems to be something dark coming like over like this one side of their face. Ah, yes, yes. I could help you out, but it depends on what you believe out is, Lady Ross-Carter.
Well, to me, getting out would be returning back to my life and getting out of this nature.
Ah, but what is nature? Nature is the trees and the forest and, well,
Nature is the things that we exploit for our benefit.
funny that you say that, because nature can also be what is inside us that we pull from and use for our own benefit. And within her capacious sleeves, like, like poet, capacious sleeves, like she pulls out like a knife equally like, large as your
Uh-huh.
own, and like, will like, and say something, and I don't know quote, but say something, just like bombastically Shakespearean, and then like,
Yeah.
stab you with it,
Yeah.
you know.
I try to defend it, but it doesn't.
No.
No.
No, because you weren't even suspecting it, because I
No.
mean, capacious sleeve, boom, and
Comically large knife. Yeah.
yeah.
So I'm gonna click the gilded door. Does anyone have a problem with me taking that? All right.
Nice. Most beloved. So no one else can take that for now. Nope.
Totally legit. Yeah.
Totally legit. Yep. You are so beloved. Yes. And that brings you up to 7 to 9. So you do succeed in getting out with your knife. But let's see. Complication, or condition. I think. Oh, did you want to? Let me ask you. Did you want to do the Gilded Door, or did you want to kind of like incorporate your Mask of Sharpened Glade or something like that?
No, I'm good.
Okay. All
I'm
right.
happy with my choice.
Okay, cool. So anyway, I think. Well, tell me how you succeed to get out of here. You know.
So it's significantly less exciting than that. I think the lamps are flickering, and I'm able to kind of trace them back a little bit more, and perhaps maybe as I move a little bit further, I start to hear the singing and the music coming from the back door of
Yeah.
uh, the Blackbirds.
Nice. Okay.
So
Awesome.
I kind of get to the end and I kind of shake it off like, did that really just happen?
Yeah, and I think like when you look back, you look at the entrance to the hedge maze and everything's lit up just like normal. Like all the lamps were lit, and there's like sufficient light to see by, and in fact you see the welcoming benches like around the hedge maze. So yeah, everything's copacetic. Oh. And we're gonna head over to the last unseen. Kim. Mr. Davenport and Mr. Taylor withdraw into Taylor's study for port and cigars. Alone, how do they expose the vices they hide from society to one another?
I think that in the days preceding, I'm sorry, I've forgotten which one is the upper and which one is the lower name. Remind me. Who's upper class?
Mr. Davenport is the really posh one.
So I believe that in the days leading up to this, Mr. Taylor spent a great deal of time scouring antique shops for some sort of very fancy drug paraphernalia. I have no idea. Um, so I didn't actually research Victorian drugs. Let's say a pipe. Um, and like takes it out, it's nicely wrapped and presents it and said, I saw this and thought of you. And Mr. Davenport sort of carelessly unwraps it and is unimpressed, has brought none of his own paraphernalia, none of his own drugs, is just waiting for Mr. Taylor to present him with like a tray of opium or something. And does not even say thank you, just sort of pockets the nice thing. But then they do a great deal of drugs.
Fantastic. Oh my god. And I think, just to kind of like, round out Lady Ross-Carter for just a half a mo, I think, as you come back to the door of Little Blackbird, the back door of Little Blackbirds, I think Miriam will kind of like come upon you and say, "Oh, Lady Ross-Carter, you all right? You seem like as if you've seen a ghost."
No, I just it's quite the hedge maze they have out there. Have you spent time out there?
I've dabbled. I've actually gone out to the gazebo.
I think at this moment, like as I ask her that, I passed by her and just kind of push her and say, "You should go check it out," and just push Miriam out the door.
Okay, all right. Uh, and then she'll kind of like like look back at you and just kind of like go and take a little bit of a look. Oh, how inspiring! Look at this. And then you kind of like hear her like sing a little bit of a sonnet that she knows, and then she'll kind of like call back to you. It's like, you may want to if you're really interested in nature, you may want to check out the rooftop terrace if you're that curious.
The rooftop, you say? Thank you. I'll add it to my list.
Of course. And yeah, for your complication besides gilded door. Okay, so you added most beloved. Um, hmm. No, I think I'm just gonna leave that as that because that's already a condition in itself right now. Um, anything else anybody wanted to do to wrap up the night phase before we head into dawn? Ouch. That you want to just kind of like finish off.
I don't I don't think Rose does. I think after she's relatively sure that the cabbie here is going to be able to is going to be okay,
Hmm.
and that Lady Ross-Carter has left, I think she's just going to like turn on her heel and start walking back toward Hargrave House.
Okay.
Although she's probably going to stop in a tavern or two on the way over there.
Okay. That's fine. Sure. Alrighty. Dr. Whitford and Jack. I'm assuming you're both like leaving Lord Mumford's.
Yes, I think I'm taking my leave of Lady Sarah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we found what we need to here.
Okay. I mean, do you commiserate in the cab about anything, about what you found out, or like just kind of like amiably just kind of take the cab and go back to Hargrave?
Oh, I mean, like once we're in the cab, I turn to Whitford and I say, um, uh, um, I don't think Mumford had anything to do with it, but I don't think he's looked too closely into what his old friend, into how involved his old friend might have been.
I believe there's a great deal that Lady Sarah was not telling me, and I remain unclear on her affiliation with Lord Mumford or
Hmm.
why she would have been there tonight.
Hmm. Mumford insists there was no hanky-panky going on, and I feel like I was reasonably persuasive in convincing him that he should tell me if there was. But
There are many, I think that she's going to sort of drop the I've been talking nobility. Jack, there's a lot of other things that they could have been doing that are equally suspicious that are not naked.
oh, absolutely. There's
If that's
um
what you mean by hanky panky.
that was what I meant by hanky panky, but that doesn't mean that's the only thing that could be going on. Uh
Did
um
you clarify anything other than whether or not they were having relations?
uh I didn't feel like I needed to.
Okay.
Um yes, my sense of their relationship is uh equally obtuse. Mumford
Excellent.
was not forthcoming on the topic, other than to assure me that it was all entirely legitimate. Old friends
Ladies,
and all that.
it was not a happy or congenial marriage, as far as I can tell.
No,
Okay.
no. And Mumford did share with me that Brookmead returned from an expedition changed somehow. And the question is what that might or might not have had to do with all of this. But we should consult with our companions when we return to when we get back to Hargrave House.
Yes.
Did you have any sense from her that she was concerned about our presence specifically? That Hargrave House was taking an interest?
She said she did not believe herself to be at risk.
Hmm. Hmm. Huh. Another statement that could mean several different things.
She said it was I, Kim, the person, can't say that word clearly. Someone would say,
Specific to her.
yes,
Yes,
thank
yeah.
you.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yes.
she seemed unconcerned. I don't know if that's because she was an agent of whatever happened or just that she knew it was not going to touch her.
Hmm. Well, hopefully Lady Ross-Carter and Ms. Larabee will have something to add to this, and we can uh, come up with some sort of theorem.
All
Is
that
that
said,
is that
I
what it
liked her.
is? Is that what it is? A theorem? Is that what we would be coming up with?
There's any number of things we could be coming up with.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
Wild suppositions. I did like Lady Sarah. I
Well,
do want to
that's
believe she's uninvolved, but I know that that is a bias.
the fact that you like her places her in quite a small circle.
Indeed.
Impressive.
Think as you take the cab back to Hargrave House, I think we see the fingers of dawn slowly coming across the horizon, and we do move into dawn phase. So, all right. So, nothing was resolved. Answering dawn questions. So, going from left to right, answering dawn questions. Did we answer a question? No. Well, wait.
Yeah.
We did. We answered the custom move
The
question.
optional question, yeah.
Yes. Okay, so we did do that. Sorry. Did we resolve a threat? No. Did you experience an echo in the night, Wild Rose?
Yes, the Taylors had a painting of a gazebo in their in their living room.
Okay. All right. Did you stick out in London society for all the wrong reasons?
Oh yeah, I opened fire at things that things are in my head in the hedge maze.
Goddamn yeah. All right, great. Take that point. Did you use violence to solve a problem? Hell yeah. Okay,
Oh
great.
hell to the yeah.
Okay, so take those points. Go ahead and clear your dawn questions, and then change your elective dawn questions if you so choose. All right. Lady Ross-Carter. All right. You answered a question.
Yeah.
Did not resolve a threat. Did you experience an echo in the night?
Yeah, with the inviting into places.
Okay. Take that point.
Yeah.
Did you leverage your social status to gain the upper hand?
I think I did in the flower shop, as well as that last scene, or not the last scene, the middle scene in our night phase tonight with Lucy.
Okay, I'll take it. Did you deliver a chilling, dead-eyed monologue about the horrors of the world?
I don't know how chilling or dead-eyed it was, but the scene with, I believe it was Miriam, or the lady in the park, or during our last session, was when I was aiming at it. When we brought up Shakespeare and all of that stuff.
I'll take it.
I can't remember how I said it because it was a while ago.
Okay. So go ahead and take that. Take those points. Clear your dawn questions, and then change your elective dawn questions if you so choose. All right. Okay, Doctor. Answered a question. Did not resolve a threat. Did you experience an echo in the night?
I'm going to have to say no because I believe I did, but I cannot put my finger on it.
If you think you did, you probably did. I mean, like, if you even just, like, mentioned a similar image or something even... Now, mind you, just so you know, and I always forget to mention this, like, if you did, like, an echo in the night that is either thematically similar or even opposite, it counts. So, that gives you two options. Yeah.
Okay.
So if you think you did it, go ahead. Did you put your hands in a pile of guts and love every minute of it? Sorry, I need to give you more corpses.
I was about to say, I don't know if I loved every minute of hanging out with a desiccated corpse, but it certainly was in my element.
Okay, all right, fair enough. Take it. Did you dismiss the possibility of a supernatural explanation despite everything you experienced?
No.
Okay. All right, so take the points that you did get, put them in your advancement track, clear your dawn questions, and then change your elective dawn questions if you so choose. Jack. You answered a question. Did not resolve a threat. You experienced an echo in the night. Yeah?
I referred to Mr. Thistle having been the one that provided flowers for the dinner date there, yeah.
You did. Did you admit that modernity has its advantages?
I told the doorman at Little Blackbirds that their jacket loan policy was a modern miracle.
Nice.
Because I think I recall saying, when you went to the vomitorium, they didn't just hand you a toga. It's amazing. So, yes. Yeah.
Amazing. Did you express envy for those lucky enough to feel the sweet release of death?
I told the privy ghost how lucky he was to have such an interesting place to haunt and reminded him that he could pass on whenever he wanted to.
Yeah, go for it. Take those points, add them to your advancement track, clear your dawn questions, and then change your elective dawn questions if you so choose. All right. Okay. So, I don't think anybody's up for an advancement just yet, so make those changes as needed. Before we move into dawn, I want to tell you about one more person doing dark work tonight. She is sitting in a beautiful burgundy velvet chaise lounge, a book in hand, reading. This woman, elderly, somewhat frail, looks small and elegant in her simple nightgown and plush robes too large on her, even more so as a young man, bespectacled of uncommon beauty, steps over the threshold into the room, standing tall above her. He leans in as if to kiss her on the forehead, and instead opens his mouth to release a steady stream of purple gas. "The experiment continues, Frau. Shall we go on?" He breathes, and she, frail of the white-haired tresses, opens her mouth to accept this strange gift.
"Yes, Dr. Holzer. Indeed. Let it be so in service."
And she smiles a wide smile as her eyes glow for a few moments with that purple light. Hargrave House does not yet know this woman's schemes against the Empire, but we do. As players, we have our own question to answer. How does the Mastermind intend to destroy the crown? Complexity 8. Hargrave House will immediately confront her once we've successfully answered it. Clint, I don't know if you want to just do the brain does not want to work.
My mask?
Mask, yeah.
Yeah. So this is my first two that I mashed together.
Okay. Please do the say the prompts. And
yes. That's it. The first one is narrative flashback to a time when the explorer first arrived at your village. Was it a joyous moment? Was there something ominous about it? And I'm doing the flashback to a time you took shelter. You took a sheltered moment alone, somewhere peaceful, only to be forced out of it by terrible circumstances.
Oh, can you explain, like, the difference between, like, the explorer's masks and the other hunter's masks? The perspective difference.
Yes. So the explorer, their mask of the past, is told from the perspective of the boy, not their own. It's a outsider's look at their history. So we see a rural town some years ago. Perhaps it's in sepia tone. We see young kids running on a dirt street. They enter into like a really deep wood with like a grove of trees that kind of enclose and make a nice little play area. And then there is a really dark autumn rain starts up and starts to pour, and they all run out of the woods back towards their house. And even at full speed, the streets are already full of mud before they get home. And the girls' dresses at the bottom are all muddy and ruined. Then we see a title card that says Romania, 1855, oil is found. And then we have the perspective of the girl. I see a woman walking down the street. We are running back from the grove. I duck and hide behind a strange. I duck behind and hide to watch this strange woman. This woman is clearly from a different place. She is leading 4 men behind her, each with notepads writing down every word that she says. Her coat is too fine for this weather, and she doesn't seem to care about it being ruined in this rain. Strigali is what the old folk call her, a vampire. They said that loudly when she was not around, very quietly when she drew near. The other kids in town said she would drink the life from the ground. No one openly welcomed her, no offerings of bread or wine or hospitality. All the other kids would run inside when she was around, but I stayed outside. I would watch, hiding from under wagons. Then one day, as the lady walked by, she stopped. She noticed me and looked directly at me. It was a long stare. I couldn't move. There was no malice in her gaze, no kindness either, only a knowledge of my existence. Lady Ross-Carter was her name. Girl, come here. I walk up to her and she says, "Do you seek employment?" I shrugged, not fully understanding what she was even saying. We have weeks later. Me and some of the kids were out playing in our grove, which is now to the east of the new rigs that have been built. We call it the Old Orchard. The trees bore no fruit, but it was our favorite place to play. This is our only playground. The sun would, the shade would provide, well, it would provide a lot of shade from the sun. I would go and hide there when times were tough. One morning I was in the orchard and the fog started to roll in, but this time it was darker and thicker and fouler. It wasn't fog at all, it was smoke. I heard shouts from the direction of the eastern slope. An accident, they said. A new shaft had caused fire. Pressure failure. I heard someone shout. Many men had died. The next day, Lady Ross-Carter ordered the orchard to be cut down to become beams for the new rig. She called me over and said, "It's time to grow up. There is no more time for playing with trees. It is not dignified for a young lady to do."
As we move from dawn into day, I think we see the camera slowly pan in and get a shot of moving into, as the light starts to glow up and dawn again puts fingers across the sky, and we get a shot of Bethlehem Hospital. I think we hear the beginnings of humming and singing. Slightly off key, comes back to being on key, and then like something that sounds like a tin mug or something being like driven across like a door, but then singing again, and we hear shouts of "Shut up!" or "Keep that down!" and just laughing. And this camera pans in towards a particular door with a bit of a window in it. And we go through the window. And then we go into a room where we see this rather corpulent fellow, the back of him, as he dances in this room. And he's got unkempt hair and stained clothing. And he just sits and sings and hums, and we hear what he sings as he turns to the unseen camera and says, or sings, "Sing a song of 3 figs, the apples of my eye. Snatch a bunch of long pigs and bake them into pies. First comes little Patrick, about on paw or hoof. He thinks that he's an animal and has since troubled youth. Oh, Bert the Blade has fine taste, more than most I know. It has to be the right pig, see, the meat must be just so. My love, la belle Hortensia, the gravy to my crust. To hold that which she loved and lost, she'll do what she must. Sing a song of 3 figs, these names you all now know. You'll see them down old London town, and in the sack you'll go." And the camera, in fear, pans outward from this room as we come out of the dawn and into the day, and come back into Hargrave House as we watch as an unseen delivery person brings a box that seems to have a fresh pie being delivered to someone at Hargrave House, and the card on the box says, "To Lady Ross-Carter." And that's where we're going to end for tonight's session. So, stars and wishes. Stars are things that you liked about today's session. Gameplay, roleplay each other. Wishes are what you'd like to see for next time. Whomever would like to start.
I will go first, if I may. Kim, I forgot the full context of this because it was fairly early in the session. But you said, "I'm sorry for your loss, if it is a loss." As if you're like, wait a second, I don't know this relationship between you. Yeah. A really beautiful way of saying that. Jim, that part where you grabbed the guy by the scruff of his collar and threw him against the wall, that was great. And equally great, Mads, your performance in response to that. Like you actually you leaned back and you changed your voice in a really cool way. So double star there. Mike, I love that you were just like, yeah, I'm gonna hang out and shoot at this guy. And you took action at that moment, which was really cool. And you stayed by and you tried to help this guy in a kind of a weird, sort of gruff, unhelpful way. I'm not sure. I enjoyed that scene. And Mads, both of the Blackbird scenes that we were part of, I really enjoyed. I thought you played those really well. So thank you. Wishes, no, let's just keep going. Nothing in particular.
I can go. Clint, the to death toast was delightful. Mike, the sort of "I'm not wounded" to the doctor, and just this is nothing. And Jim, the bit where you're like, "If you find some branches when you're shaving, let me know," was just so deeply, humorously menacing. And I really liked Lucy's vibe, Mads, the whole "I want to earn money." Wishes, some bodies to play with, and to hang out with Lady Ross-Carter and see how we get on.
Yeah, I'm ready to go. Kim, I wrote down the words, "Jack, we are guests." Which is that feels like the whole Jack and Dr. Whitford vibe, encapsulated in in whatever 4 words there. That was perfect and just perfectly modulated when you just a little reminder. Um uh I have Dimpleton the driver. Lady Ross-Carter will speak to your manager, is what I have written. You were like, your supervisor will hear about this. Meanwhile, the guy's got a fern growing out of the side of his face and stuff, and and you're going all full Karen on him, which is very Lady Ross-Carter vibe. I'm feeling. Mike, I thought that that use of the ectoplasm was super cool. That was really neat to I'm hoping I can get it to, because the whole point of ectoplasm is this formless supernatural goo, right? And so, maybe it will. And, and that's kind of cool because you set that up and then Mads, you're like, oh, okay, here's a thing that I can do with that. And the two of you, that was really, really cool the way that worked. And it was also neat to see that is one of those personal quarters items just coming in a really interesting way that, we just kind of spitball those things at the beginning. And then it's really neat to see them come up and be really interesting like that. That was a really cool use of that example of that. Mads, I wrote down the words "stiff drinks, stiffer entertainment," which I feel like that's something they put on their handbills when they, when they hand them out and stuff like that. That was delightful, and the song was just fun. that's cool. Like, if it was me, I'd have said, imagine I'm singing and then recited it. But that was that was primo. That was like you use that as an audition piece. That was really 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 fun. And I'm very much looking forward to that. I have some meta knowledge of this threat, and it's super super fun. So certainly one of my wishes is to like um our first threat has been a little bit, kind of like a little bit rare air with like, hobnobbing with a bunch of nobles and stuff like that and everything, and as like weird and creepy as the whatever, the branches growing out of somebody is, that's also still relatively dry. And I'm pretty sure this next threat is going to be like wet and sloppy. And I hope it is just maximally wet and sloppy. That is, this is certainly Kim's opportunity to whatever that thing for her character is, sink her arms into the elbows or whatever it is. I know that this provides it. So I'm very much looking forward to that. Wishes. I'm looking for the opportunity to get killed because that's like the thing that my character does. I haven't, I am looking forward to like running into somebody twice my size with a meat cleaver who I cannot really do anything with, but just say, okay, buddy, some kind of something like that. Very, very, I think that's going to be a lot of fun. And also, uh, in keeping with kind of the other wishes is to pair off with some of the other folks to, you know, to like and in particular, I feel like Jack and Rose um like could have some like whatever buddy cop energy that that is different from kind of the other people hanging out together, or maybe good cop bad cop so,
And also different from another famous Jack and Rose. But
yes,
anyway,
that's true. Yes, exactly. Yes, yeah. No, no, nobody will be painting anybody like any French girls. That's for sure. The other wish I have is, um, if you could, Mads, it would help me if you could be, like more, um, specific about prompting us rather than asking us who wants to go. And I know different groups feel differently about that, but like I feel awkward, like I don't know if I want to go right away because it will step on people, or if I wait too long, that's putting pressure on other people to go or whatever. And to just say, like give it a 2 count, and if nobody says anything, to just prompt us, because we can always pass and say, can you ask someone else? But I would find that helpful, and it would make this the like those processes for like stars and wishes stuff that go easier for me if we get a little more prompting on it. And that's it for me.
Okay.
I guess that comes around to me then. Yeah, stars are all around. This is a really fun session. I really enjoyed this. Some role playing things that came to mind. Man, Lady Ross-Carter at the like going into the entertainment room, and then afterwards for like, oh, she likes to watch.
Well, her
We know.
voice is like watching people wrestle. So that's, yeah.
Yup. So yeah, that was like a that was like a really fun. I was like, oh, okay. I could totally see that scene happening like on the TV series of this. Um, Jim, the I want to echo the like how you were dealing with Lord, what was it Mumford Munson
Mumford. Yeah. Yeah.
Mumford.
Mumford.
Um, yeah, and how you're like, yeah, okay, oh yeah, like, oh no, I don't want this stuff. I want the good booze. Just like the level of familiarity and like, no, we're doing it this way. That was awesome. I love that. Um, and yeah, I need to echo Jim's comment, Kim, about the Jack. We are guests. Loved that. Just loved that. Um, Oh, also, I also want to echo Clint the toast to death in the scene before we both like right before we both nearly got killed. That was awesome. That wasn't planned foreshadowing at all. Um, and Mads like singing the song, that was fantastic. And also the way you've been like personifying a bunch of these characters is just top notch. I'm really enjoying this. I don't really have any specific wishes. I'm just curious to see where this is going, and I'm also looking forward to the next. I'm just looking forward to the next threat. Again, I have some meta knowledge about this one, and I'm just really looking forward to it.
Yeah, so comes around to me, and you guys have 6 clues to play with for Enigma at Little Blackbirds. So I expect to see some working with this new threat, plus also answering a question come dusk. I mean, hell, I mean, if you bust through a good day phase with the second threat, and want to answer a question like almost right off the bat, I'm cool with that too. But yeah, I mean, like, this session was really fun. I mean, like, I loved playing off of all of you for all the different things. I mean, like, with Lady Ross-Carter and Miriam, whether Miriam was like, being her like poetic or like evil poetic self, no matter what. I mean, like, it was really awesome to just like do the thing, and like hang out with Lady Ross-Carter. That was awesome. And then also with playing off of Dr. Whitford with Lady Brookmead, that was a lot of fun because she's an enigmatic character, and it was really kind of interesting to have you both like talk to each other, but also with an understanding of like, we're chicks, all right, we're women, like, we get it. And like, just for the fact that you were reaching out to her, and then she didn't have to necessarily pretend, but she was still being very reticent. I mean, it was an interesting byplay that was there. So I thought that was cool. And yeah, I mean, like, if you want to hang out with Lady Brookmead, you could if you want. And then like Jack, I wasn't like Jim, I wasn't expecting what you were going to do with Jack and Lord Mumford, but I thought that was awesome. That was like such a cool scene, with doing that, and like, leading into an info move. So kudos to you for that, for sure. That was a lot of fun. And then, like, of course, I ship whatever the hell's going on between Jack and Dr. Whitford. I ship that, but yes, I would also like to see the other characters with Jack too. It's fine. But yeah, that whatever's going on, that I find that fascinating. So I want to see more of that myself. No other specific wishes, really. I mean, like, to see all of you interact with each other and seeing what kind of connections and relationships you develop from there will be interesting, especially once we get more into more threats. Yeah, and then seeing more things develop for sure. So yeah, I mean, I don't have much more than that because, again, once I'm in it, it's really difficult to really get out some stars, so I apologize. And then wishes, it's like I only come up with stuff like once I actually do a rewatch, and then I'm able to go like, oh yeah, that would be really neat to see, or oh, that I definitely should star. So
Yeah, put it in the Discord.
oh yeah, no, absolutely. I'd be like, oh, that's a good one. All right, guys, like, we should totally do that. But fantastic job all around for tonight, for sure. So stars, 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 bursting stars, and I want to see more of the same as we continue. So thank you all so much, and I look forward to next week when you get into trouble in the daytime and Lady Ross-Carter has a pie to have. That's gonna be fun.
I hope it's my favorite.
Yes, and I introduced the threat, like, more specifically, like Ben, okay? So, you guys have a wonderful week. Happy gaming, and I will see you next time. Thank you so much.
Good night.
All right. Good night.